Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and today we're going to be going over the 2020, it's really weird to say, but 2020 Kia Telluride. First and foremost, a big shout out and thank you to Jerry Signer Kia for providing us with the Telluride to review today. They've told me that this car has been really hot so far, that every single one that they've gotten in has pretty much sold instantly. As always, we will do a quick walk around on the Telluride. Then we will go and take it out for a drive to see how it drives. And as always, if you are stopping in for the first time, I would really appreciate it if you subscribed. Hood here, we have a 3.8 liter V6. Fuel economy is going to be 19 around town, 21 combined, and then 24 on the highway. And this is all routed through an 8-speed automatic transmission. In terms of power outputs, you're going to get 291 horsepower and 262 pound-feet of torque. Now, finishing things up front, I love the design of the Telluride. It's actually a very imposing, and it's a design that kind of asks for attention just because of the scale of everything, especially with the big, just like the size of the front grille overall. But we can pop up to the front headlights right here. You get these nice little LED rings that go all around on the headlights. They are projector bulbs, and then you kind of get these little vents down below. And then you have Kia's signature front grille design, kind of with the honeycomb looking design. And then you've got nice silver inserts down below on the bottom bumper. But like I said, it just has a nice scale and look to it. Now coming around to the side, we have 20-inch machine alloy finished wheels. They have a really good look to them and kind of go with all the chrome design that's all around the car, and so I definitely like the look of that. And while we're here, I can give you a side view of the Telluride so you can get the proportions of the vehicle. If you are wondering what this color is called, this particular color is called Dark Moss. It's this very nice brown color, and you can see it has this nice sparkle in the sunlight, and so definitely a color option that I would check out if you are looking into the Telluride. Now coming around to the back over here, this is where I will show you the key fob for the Telluride. So this is the key fob that you get. Hopefully that focuses properly. You'll remember this key fob from the Kia Stinger. It's kind of like the, bomb looking key fob, if that makes sense. So it looks like you press a button and then it's going to make something blow up, which I just like the design of it. It's kind of cool, but you've got your regular lock and unlock buttons right here, and then you have the release for the trunk as well. So we can pop back here and open up the trunk for the rear space. Now, first and foremost, you're going to get some extra storage under here. You got some lug nut openers and all that, but this is what's really neat. So you can see right here we've got a 12 volt, but you can see that you've got the buttons right here that you can fold down the seats for the rows right there. So you can basically throw this third row right here, you can just throw these right down. And then since the second row is a little bit harder to reach, then you can press those buttons to throw those seats down. You do have to manually pick them back up, but it's nice that they at least give you that feature. Things in the back with the design on the Telluride, you can see that Telluride's printed on the back of it, but I definitely like the shape of it. I'm probably gonna get a lot of heat for saying this, but this almost kind of reminds me of the new Rolls-Royce Cullinan, just with how the shape of it looks in the rear. But you can see you've got these nice LED tail lamps that are down there. You've got your all-wheel drive badging and then the SV6 badging. And down below, you can see they kind of have like a fake cutout. There's no exhaust over there, but then they have the exhaust tips over here on the other side. And as always, right before the driving portion, I'll include a couple exhaust clips so you can hear what this V6 sounds like. Now that we are over into the back, we can see the overall door design with the rear. You've got this nice trim here on the doors. You've got your leather padding, contrasted stitching, and then they have the speaker down right here. And I just like the design of that speaker. It looks pretty good. Now this is our first look at the seats really from a front view. They have a nice design to them, and they are leather bolstered, and then you get perforations on the inside of the leather. You can see here on the top of the seat, that's to fold it down, or you can do it here as well. And then you've got this little latch that allows you to pick the seat back up. This particular one is fitted with captain chairs, so it makes it easier to get into that third row. You do get a little 12 volt down there, and then some cup holders for the rear passengers with some storage space right here. And if you look up above, you can see you have the climate controls for the rear passengers. Stepping around front, we've got the keyless entry system, so one touch to lock it, and then if you press it again, that will unlock it. And while we're doing that, we can open up the door again to see the paneling for the front. Again, you're going to get more of that nice silver trim with the bolsters, contrasted stitching. All of your window controls are going to be down right here, and then you're gonna have your mirror controls right there, and you can see you can adjust between the left and the right side on the mirror. And then they do another cool design with the speaker up front. Are your controls for the seats, so you can see you've got your power adjustment back and forward with the seat, and then you have your lumbar on top of that. And these front seats, the design of them, they look really comfortable. The bolsters aren't too wide, but they definitely do have nice bolsters so that it'll keep you in place, but it's not going to be uncomfortable to sit in. Now the Telluride is going to come with quite a bit of safety tech, and these are some of the controls for it. So your stability control, this is your lane departure assistance, and then your blind spot monitoring, and they've got a little vent above. But these are to kind of customize some of the safety tech. We'll go a little bit more in depth into some of that stuff a little bit later. Now we can step in, and step in height is really good on the Telluride. It's really easy to get in and out of this vehicle. To start up the Telluride, all you have to do is put your foot on the brake and push the push start button. It'll do the system check, and the gauges will do a bit of a sweep, and then you're pretty much all ready to go. Here on the steering wheel, we have our controls for the cruise control right here, and it does have the adaptive cruise control function, so that's your follow function on it. And then your button here, that's for the center screen. We'll go over that shortly. These are for your different modes for the radio. So you can see that it's changing between the different stations right there, and then your voice commands for your phone and your Bluetooth. Over here we have the gauge cluster, so your RPMs on one side and then your speed on the other side, and then that center screen that, like I said, you can scroll through the different pages, so it gives you different bits of information on the vehicle. So you can see statuses of different things on the vehicle. You can make it be like a little speedo, see fuel economy, pretty much just like any other cluster, so it just gives you all that info. So right here we have all of the controls for the radio, so your radio media controls. I like how they give you analog buttons, but then this is also a touch screen, because you know, some people prefer to use the analog buttons, some people prefer the touch screen. I kind of go both ways depending on what it is, but you can see the touch screen's really responsive. It's a really easy unit to use, and it's just nice, like I said, that they double up on all of that. On the touchscreen here, you can see this does come with Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. You can get some driving information through this touchscreen. I was looking at this button and I was wondering what that is, but you can see that it kind of describes exactly what it is. I'll kind of leave that there so you can read that text, but it's interesting that the car has a quote-unquote quiet mode, and then you can see you can control the rear climate from the touchscreen up here from the front. If we pop the Telluride into reverse, the backup camera will pop up. It's got nice trajectory lines, and this does come with parking sensors, so they'll beep at you if you're getting too close to something. But really good quality on the camera overall, and so it's just a nice image, and it's going to be really easy to use. Now coming down a little bit lower, we have all of our controls for the front up here. You can see you can control all of that via the analog climate controls. You do get your heated seat controls just down below that, and then you get some charging stations right down below that with USB as well. And then there's kind of just like a lot of little storage spaces down here, so you can put your cell phone, any other bit of stuff there. Now this is the shifter for the 8-speed automatic. You see that you have a drive, and then you do have plus and minus if you do want to shift the gears yourself. It has a nice feel to it. I like that it has leather down there. It just looks good. Now this is something that's neat that I don't see. I'm actually going to start it over here. So you got your auto hold right there. Your parking brake, that's to turn off the auto stop start function. That's to turn off your parking sensors. This is what I like though right here is the drive mode select. So you can see you've got all these different drive modes, and it'll pop up on this center screen as well when you go through those different drive modes. But you can see you've got your smart, which we have the best fuel economy, your sport mode, next to it comfort, eco, and then snow. And then you do see you get lockers on this, so even though this is an SUV that most people won't take off-road, it still has some off-road capability. Now, the center console here, lined with leather, you got some contrasted stitching. You get some more storage under here. It's a good amount of storage space, and they give you a little cubby on the top just to store things on top of it. I've got the sunroof open so that you can see up here, but you see you have your controls for the sunroof right there, and then you have your lighting controls there as well, but it's just a single sunroof. It is not a panoramic option. Now wrapping things up on the interior, I like the design of the interior. They've got nice soft touch materials or good looking materials. Just the finish on them looks really nice, and so this does have a nice fit and finish on it. It is a much more upscale interior than the price point would suggest. Now that we are done going over the interior on the Telluride, let's take the Telluride out for a drive quickly just to see how it drives and handles. Setting off here in the 2020 Kia Telluride, and like I said, that's so weird for me to say 2020. It seems like just yesterday we were talking about 2018s. But that being said, I just kind of, you know, did a little bit different than what I normally do, and I just kind of drove for a second before I started recording, and this vehicle is super, super smooth and super quiet. It's crazy. Yeah, I'm noticing that right off the bat. Like, I'm in a pretty noisy area. We're right by the interstate, and so there's a lot of noise from the interstate, and there's construction going around, and really the cabin in terms of sound insulation is doing amazingly well. Like, I'm not hearing a whole lot happening around me. We are going to take the Telluride onto the interstate now just to see acceleration with this 3.8 liter V6, and then also for us to get ride quality and sound on the interstate as well. We're just going to create a little bit of space between us and the person in front of me so I can get a little bit of an acceleration. Not going to get crazy on it though. Yeah, and actually in terms of acceleration, this accelerates very, very well. It's more than adequate to get up to highway speeds. And, you know, for the size of SUV this is, it actually feels pretty quick. Like I mentioned earlier, ride quality and sound, it is so smooth. This is actually, I think right now this might be the smoothest SUV that I've tested so far. Like, I mean, it's so comfortable. It's crazy to me. I don't hear a whole lot of road noise, and like I said, it's crazy loud with all the construction and the highway noise, and this is actually really, really quiet, so I am super impressed with that. Visibility over the hood's really good. You feel really high up in the vehicle, and so it's like comfortable. You have a good commanding presence of the road, and so this is a vehicle that's very easy to drive. You could drive on a daily basis, do a ton of miles in very comfortably. Now, to wrap things up, like I say always, if you're in the market for an SUV, everyone's in the market for an SUV right now. This is one of the best offerings in terms of a third-row SUV on the market. The price point that it's at is very budget-friendly for just the fit and finish. You get this vehicle with the ride quality. Like I said, this feels pretty much like a luxury car. Like, it is in that same category. I'm super impressed. And so if you are in the market for an SUV, you have to come and check out one of these Kia Tellurides. And there we have it, everyone, the 2020 Kia Telluride. And again, shout out and thank you to Jerry Signer Kia for providing us with the vehicle. If you are in the market for a Kia, definitely check them out. But as always, if you're stopping in for the first time, please subscribe, comment down below what you thought, and then I will see all of you in that next video.